we hear all these issues about the NHS being completely prepared, and but I just wanted to give you my view as a GP. I think as a GP personally, I feel really, really vulnerable. Initially, when coronavirus started, we used to ask people, to screen them, have you come from China? Now we're asking them, then we ask them, did you come from the Far East? Now we're asking them about Italy, and it's just everywhere now. And we're literally sitting a metre away with patients coughing and spluttering on us. We're asking them to open their mouths, stick their tongues out and saying, and we have no protection whatsoever. And we feel really, really vulnerable.
I bet you do.
A lot of my colleagues at the moment, it's all on our forums, a lot of our colleagues are thinking, if it stays like this and if we as GPs aren't protected, we probably will not work, because we have our own children, we have our own elderly relatives, and we certainly don't want to be passing it on. Even though it's mild, we may not be affected. Our relatives may well be. And
when you say you may not work, Sonia, you would consider going on strike until protection was...
No, not going on strike, but certainly taking leave, taking annual leave. Just somehow, a lot of GPs are locum GPs, so they'll just stop earning. And I think 20% of GPs are locum GPs, and it's really going to play on the work.
So until you get better protection, you might not turn up to work as a GP.
Possibly, yes, because we have to look after our own safety, because it seems nobody else is.
So what more protection?
And this is not just me. This is a general.
No.
I wouldn't say everybody, but quite a fair amount of people on our own forums are voicing this. And we talked about wearing, although face masks are questionable, America, they've recently just said if you are a healthcare worker, if you are particularly susceptible, consider wearing a mask. In this country, if we go around saying we want to wear a mask now, we'll frighten patients, and there's no need to be frightened at the moment. There's no need. There's a need for concern, certainly, but there's no need to be panicked. And if we start going around wearing masks, people are going to be panicked. I don't know what else we can do to protect ourselves, but literally a metre away with people coughing and spluttering, you don't know where they've come from. They could, and you can also, it's spreading person to person, not necessarily people coming back from Italy. And it's really dangerous for us. And it seems the NHS isn't necessarily completely prepared, because the frontline staff, the primary care staff, may well not work.
So do you have ideas about what it is you would like to see to help better protect you, to mean that you'll turn up to work to help people?
I think I would feel more secure if I could wear a face mask, but we can't do that individually. Public Health England need to authorise it so it doesn't create panic. It just becomes a normality.
That's kind of crazy,
isn't it?
Isn't it?
Wear all those suits, but there must be something. They're protecting everybody else, but what about us? We are seeing 20% of patients.
The other slightly crazy thing is that if you have come back from those areas and you feel unwell, nobody has told you to go to a GP. The advice is to ring 111 and self-isolate.
Yes, but what's happening is patients are coming in because they're worried, or they've got a cough and a cold, but they don't want to ring 111, because if they ring 111, they'll be told to self-isolate. If they're told to self-isolate, they won't be working.
But that's so disgraceful.
They won't be working, they won't be earning. So they just come nip to the GP just to ask them, is everything okay?
Oh dear. I mean, that's I completely accept. I mean, God, if I had to self-isolate as someone who's self-employed and has to be here, I wouldn't earn any money. And I can see how it would be disastrous for you. But you can't do that. The advice is you call 111, you self-isolate, and you wait for them to respond. And as Scott has described for us over the last few nights, the response is actually, from his point of view anyway, in his experience, it was pretty good.
It is. But the first thing is, are you at risk? And the people who come to us have some form of risk. They're probably, obviously, not from North Italy, but they have some form of risk. There is somewhere there's a link. And at the moment, it's fine because it's not that prevalent. We're all working. But soon enough, it's going to become potentially more prevalent, where people will just be passing it from. And what is going to happen to the GPs? Hopefully by then they will have authorised more protection for us. But at the moment, as things stand, people are coming. with not directly coming back from Wuhan or coming back from northern Italy, but coming back with some sort of symptom, with some sort of relationship to someone who has flown.
So how long are you going to give? How long are you going to give it? How long do you give it? Unless you get this order from Public Health England to be able to better protect yourself, how long do you give it before you say, no, I'm not up for this anymore?
So these cases are sprouting up, aren't they? You have 5, 10, then they come up to 30, 40. When you start seeing the cases really rising in multiples, that's when I think we're already worried. It's already all.
And you would do it. You would say, no, I'm going to down tools here. I'm going to take myself off for a week until someone allows me to wear a face mask when I'm doing my surgeries.
Even a face mask, I don't know. A face mask isn't supposed to be that protective.
Well, some of them are, some of them aren't. Sonia, I'm really grateful to you, and I wish you all the best. I mean, it does. Would you be panicked if you saw your GP wearing a mask? I'm not sure I'd be panicked by it, and I completely see her point. Not turning up to work, though, is pretty drastic.